Welcome to another episode of Anyone Can Cook. Today's episode takes us to the history and the past of the Philippines of the Manila galleon trade. In the Manila galleon trade in the 1800s, they exchanged with us in the Philippines spices, aromatics, a series of combinations of ingredients that got embraced by our local cuisine. So ashuete, cinnamon, tamales, a series of unique ethnic spices that we have incorporated in our food. What I'm talking about is the tamales. The tamales is derived from corn, rice flour, ashuete oil, chorizo, a series and a pouch of packed goodness in one amazing wrap of a banana leaf. So it opens like a gift waiting to be given or waiting to be eaten. So come journey with me as we explore the 4 base ingredients of the tamales. In this episode, it's about envelope meals. And what I mean about envelope meals is that it's wrapped in like an envelope. So you're like, what do you mean? So in a format of tamales, the Mexican tamales, it's rice husk or corn husk that is being wrapped in maize. And in the Filipino tamales, you have rice flour. And the rice flour gets a base and wrapped an envelope with no other than banana leaves. And these banana leaves are straight off from the tree that we cut into like a square, and we're gonna have to toast that to firm and strengthen its pliability. And what you have are just 4 base ingredients, seriously 4 base ingredients. You have rice flour, 4 cups of rice flour, about 4 cups of coconut milk or coconut cream. You have your chicken, you have your sausage or chorizo, you have prawns, you have an egg, a salted egg, you have annatto seeds. So you'll find these annatto seeds are submerged in oil, and you'll find the color of the oil has changed into like a light orange pliable flavor. Kind of cool. Very interesting, but it is also, these annatto seeds were also brought in from the Spanish galleon trade. So also that's something that we discovered as a culture and as an ethnic group. So I'm ready to start if you are. So again, you have your rice flour, your coconut cream or milk, some chicken, onion, garlic, salt and pepper, a sausage, and I just put 3 shrimps so that each one, so basically it's going to be a meal in itself, and you're going to be so impressed and surprised that nobody has served it in their homes more often. So I urge you to come experiment, play, discover, cultivate, create all these things in your kitchen so that it makes things more alive and the family lingers longer over a meal. We all have time to reset. We all have time to have open communications with each other in order to further happiness, in order to further and nourish relationships. So that's what we're all about. So this is why the show exists, because really anyone could cook. What we want to do first is you take your banana leaves and you want to fortify them into heat so that they withhold and they become flexible. So I have just direct heat, and I put just a little grill, so I can toast that evenly. If you look at that, this is where I'm going with it. So it seals it, and what it does, it just fortifies the cover, so that when we use it, just like that, right there, you see it changes color because it just cooks it through, right? Ooh. And you just get enough so that it changes color. If you take a look at that, a good look at that, the heat just magnifies its strength so that it withstands to certain liquids going through. I mean, I would make this into a pouch. If you look at that, okay, I got about 6 fortified leaves right there, and I'm ready. So I'm just gonna take the pan, and I have it over a heat already, and I'm gonna start by getting olive oil, and you put that in the pan, and then you chop onions, garlic, and what you want to do is, I'm slicing the sausage. So we're taking and sauteing the onions and the garlic. I'm gonna get a little bit of some seasoned salt in there. It's with black pepper, toasted garlic, and then I'm gonna have and add, what we have here is my annatto, and the annatto seeds are in there, and I'm just going to, because I want the seeds, you take out, and when you give it some warmth, it excretes the yellow flavors. So this is where I want to go, and we are just gonna let that sweat. And while we're at this, I'm gonna get the chicken. So I have with me about 1 whole chicken breast, and I want to slice that into long strips and sear it on this liquid. Are you ready? And I just want to be just very blunt and just sear the chicken to not cook it through, but just to give it color. So while I'm at that, I'm gonna just put it on my plate. I've seasoned this chicken as well. And if you look at that, look at our annatto, guys. It's excruciating, and it's liquefying into this yellow. And annatto is merely to just, it's almost like a liquid dye the seeds are creating for us, and it has a unique smoky flavor on the palate. So I'm just gonna drop the chicken. And remember, what I want to do is just sear it to get color, not to cook it through, right? Not to cook it through. And I'm just also going to add the sausage in there. Or just a color of sorts. Seal it. And in the same way, I have 1 cup of chicken broth. If you look at it, the chicken broth has bay leaves, it has salt and black pepper, and I have here already in a pot steaming hot water, right? Because this is gonna go easy. You need 20 minutes. And you're really like, really? No, it's really 20 minutes. Take my leaves and choose the leaves that I want to saddle with us and wrap it with. Let's just check on our chicken. Woohoo! How fast is that? So we just, remember, we just want the sear, right? You're just gonna have to check because it sticks to the bottom, but you want that caramelization. You want that caramelization. You gotta use the long sticks because they're hot. And this is where I want to take it. The caramelization of when you actually turn it, you got them a little brown. This is where I'm going to stop and transfer the chicken. I'm just going to transfer the chicken. Because they're seasoned already and they're where I want it, so that's gonna be the topping. Oh, that's beautiful. You take a look, that's exactly where I want it. And that's gonna be the top. So I'm just gonna give it a few more minutes for these sausages to get cooked the way I want it as well. And then we're ready to get on our rice. So if you look at the bottom of the pan, it's quite caramelized. And you'll see why I need this to actually take it another step higher in terms of flavor profile. So while I'm there, I'm just gonna take away the sausages. Because in my mind, they're done. And I take that liquid right there and I pour the 1 cup of chicken stock. And we talked about this, right? With a bay leaf over the caramelization. And that's looking beautiful. And then here's the glory steps. The rice flour, 2.5 cups to 3 cups is where you want to take it. And depends on the thickness. Inside there, I'm going to take the heat down so that you got it to a paste. While you're at this, because what this is achieving is like a roux, basically. And then you want to add the 4 cups of the coconut milk. And you're like, what's going on there? So we have this rice flour and the coconut milk. And like, I'm going to take every side nook and cranny and I'm just going to give this a beautiful mix. So if you look at it, it's just looking like a crap actually. But I mind you, we need to give it time for the flavors to settle. In the same way, I'm going to let that settle. And I'm going to get annatto seeds because we're gonna take 1/3 of this. So I'm gonna use the same pot. And I'm gonna get the remaining oil with the annatto seeds, and I'm just gonna drop it in there because I want to extract the liquid by giving heat to the annatto. See, if you look at that, it's getting infused. What I want to do is mix it with a little bit of cinnamon and sizzle that fire. Sizzle that fire in there. The cinnamon and the annatto on the fire with some oil. I can smell the perfume of this. It's so intense. It feels exotic. It feels unique in spice. So I'm just gonna let that simmer. And while we're at that, we're gonna check at it. And I'm gonna use the soup blender. So here we go. So this is where I want to get it. Cameras, are you on this? Because this is the part where it gets hot and heavy fast. So the room right now smells like achiote and smells like cinnamon. Take a look at this pot. Right? So where I'm going to go with this, the fire is still hot, and this is where I want to take it in this bowl. Remember that this is a fine rice paste, right? We got rice in here that's cooking through. The reason why I'm doing this, you know, tamales is usually 2 colors. So I want to take the base and then alter the second layer with another flavor, but still rice base. So I'm gonna take the oil, that is the annatto oil, and the cinnamon inside the rice. I'm gonna drop the shrimp on just the fire just to seal it. We're gonna take a spoon and see the color change. The annatto, the rice, and we're gonna set that aside, okay? If you look at that, it's even cooking through further. And this is where I want to go with it because it's gotta be in this texture. While we're at that, we're checking on our shrimps. Where are you in this cooking period? Almost there. And the shrimps are getting the flavor from the cinnamon, and this is where I want to take it. It's just cooking through right there, and you'll see. Of course, where you want to go at this part is to stop and taste the rice. I'm finding it's still raw in my first palate. The flavors are so encapsulated on your tongue. I'm just going to seal it to give it the time I want. And if you look at my shrimps, My shrimps are cooking in the cinnamon. It's so beautiful. It's a happy marriage, let me tell you. It's like smoking the shrimp and cinnamon stick. Voila. So I have a smoked shrimp. So I'm just gonna set that aside. And we're almost there with the assembly. This one needs one more sear. And here we are on our assembly line. So I have a pot of boiling water and a steamer, and I have like yields and yields of these bananas that we've cooked, remember, in the heat. Let's check on the rice, and voila, take a look, and this is where we want it, at this cooked level of fineness and revelry. And let's check on the second one, the one that we put the achouette, and wow, look at that. If you look at this, it's quite decadent because it's yellow now. The annatto seeds have cooked with the rice, and it has changed in color and possibly flavor profile. So, 2 base, and we're going to do the assembly together. So we're gonna assemble them one by one on top of each other. And I'm gonna take 1 spoon, finalmente, 1 spoon of the white, 1 spoon of the yellow, 1 sausage, 1 shrimp, and 1 chicken. And you're like, wow, that's a lot. But of course it is. It's 1 entire meal, right? So this is the part where you need hands. I seal it, get some string. This is actually abaca, and I'm gonna slide it in there like a gift wrapper, you know. It's quite the exciting time. And you take it under and over. And voila. But the essence is there. You take one, you take a solid one, and you get a spoon. You dollop with the annatto base. And it's really portioned to be 1 entire meal. 1 shrimp, and it sits there like a beauty. 1 sausage, and 1 chicken. Rock and roll, baby. Look at that. Here we are in the final edge and face of this dish. I didn't realize how tired my hands would feel or how in frenzy I would be. And will you look at that? How amazing. It's completely worth the wait. Looking like parcels of gifts that are waiting to be opened. And I'm just so excited. The sense of eloquence, of decadence, into this beautiful parcel and pouch. So 1 recipe creates about 24 of these, and I got tired at 12. So I think I just made 12, but you carry on. And it is really, I realized this process is so therapeutic, and you go through like a process of like mindfulness and creation, and then it goes into like the packaging. So this packaging is entirely cultural and entirely new and raw for those who never make this at home. Such a talking piece. Oh gosh, look at that. And such reverence for presentation. It just sets you up for all the good things that are about to arrive in your life. So just like me and like you who will make this in your home, be excited. Be absolutely excited for the things that arrive and the things that go through the hard times to arrive to gifts like this. So come, let's enjoy this as we unravel this beautiful pouch of artistry, of decadence, of refinement even, in one great method of banana wrap leaves into one perfect meal. In a message of assembly and in the process of 4 stages of creating this dish, we finally arrived to this. And what it is, it brings me so much happiness because it's like gifts that are about to be opened. And what it is that, remember that we went through the rice, and then we went through the annatto oil, which colored the second part of the rice. It also gave it a second, third layer dynamic of flavor. And then we put the chorizo or the sausage, we put chicken, we put shrimp, and really realized it's just one dish, the complete meal in this package, and beautifully wrapped in a banana leaf. So cultural, so ethnic, comes in a pouch just like this, and I'm ready to unravel. So what it is, you open it up like a present and you unravel, and as all these layers get unraveled in this pouch, there's a sense of like reveal and waiting, and a waiting that just, you take it out and you see the sausage. Oh, it looks so beautiful. And the chicken and the shrimp, of that madness of everything. If you look at that, it just gets one beautiful combination. I'm going to try it now. The white and the annatto flavor. Spiraling of flavors, of heat, of direction in your mouth. I'm telling you, I questioned it until we made this together. And then when you put it in your mouth, you just want to hide and just mine. So we're going to look at how this trajectory happened. It's because of the assembly of flavor upon flavor upon flavor. The chicken, the meat, the fish, the sausage, the annatto, the white rice. So basically this is just eating white rice, this part. Yep, completely different from the yellow part. The white part is savory rice. Nice flavor because we got the caramelization, and I can taste it on that layer. And then you get the yellow. It's just wow. Well, I'm saying wow. You should be doing this and then you'll say wow. So, such a complete meal altogether. What I find that's missing as an accompaniment and how I would serve it, it would be with like radish or like a pickled onion that would completely cut through in vinegar this. Of course, the Filipino would have it with suka, right? So you get the chicken or you get the shrimp, and you would look for vinegar or pinakurat. But in every element, true to its story is this beautiful, let's try it with the shrimp. Okay, just as I suspected. Remember that we had the cinnamon infused in the shrimp, and get this, the cinnamon is inside the shrimp. So these techniques make a difference. It's longer, more complicated, more complex, but truly, truly worth the wait. I really understand why they have this in fiestas. So I just want to say thank you before I turn around and eat this all for joining me. I'm Kate Dychangco-Anzani. I'm your host, and this is our Tamales episode.